Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. Tonight really is as I look at all the people that are here tonight, it's really a night to celebrate. For me personally, I see tonight a lot of the faces that were at Thursday's 4K community meeting that Tom Hoffman and I prepared that was held at the Waterford Library last week. And a couple of comments first about 4-year-old kindergarten. That, if we go back 5 years in this whole costing thing, I realize for some it's been pretty confusing and there's been a lot of misinformation shared with the board, and that's a whole separate issue that the board will have to deal with, and I'm sure there are going to be taxpayers that are pretty upset about that as they learn more and more. But if we just go back 5 years, at that time, still a majority of the state already had 4-year-old kindergarten in place, but using the DPI's recommended and best practices for costing, we now know that the Waterford Grade School District has lost out on over $3 million in property taxes and 4K services. So the breakdown is about $1.2 million in surplus revenue that we would have received from the state after paying for $1.8 million in 4K services. So take a cost of 4K between $350,000 to $380,000 5 years ago, times that by 5. That's your $1.8 million, and then the $1.2 million is the surplus that we would have had. So the board and the district administrator will obviously have to answer to the taxpayers about that $3 million lost. We can say it's squandered, we could say it was a blunder, I don't know, but for many years, people from the community, and I have copies of emails, people have sent me emails that they've sent in, I've seen the responses, thanks for your input on 4K, we have looked at this, the committee has decided not to move forward, so on and so on and so on. That's fine, but everybody has to admit that due diligence was not carried out. Certainly amongst business managers and superintendents, it is well known that when you have decreasing enrollment or you're a wealthy district like Waterford is, that adding the enrollment of the 4K certainly helps your costing issues, and most importantly, it provides a uniform 4-year-old education to everybody in the community. We certainly have kids over the last 5 years, 4-year-olds, that have been at home. Parents have not had the money to send those children to preschool or daycare, and they really have lost out. And that's the biggest loss in all of this. Now, moving forward, all these wonderful faces out here. You have some of the most knowledgeable people about preschool and daycare in this community. And a lot of them are here tonight, I hope, to share their opinions and how they want to move forward. And I realize that logistics are a problem. It is almost April. The school year for next year starts in September. But when I've made a mistake in the past, I double time it. And I try to make up for my mistakes and get it done. If we don't have 4K in place for next year, we're going to lose out on another $900,000 in surplus state aid. So please, as you hear people tonight, I imagine some of them will ask to slow down because this is very new. But everybody should remember, it shouldn't be new. There should have been a committee formed, a study group. There were requests for that repeatedly over the last 12 months that I've been found in school board meetings, and the documents show they have been done before that. So thank you so much, members of the community. Thanks for showing up tonight, and I look forward to hearing your concerns, and I hope that the board will hightail it on the 4K and get moving and see what can be done for next year. I did not hear a discussion yet, and that's why when I read in the paper that 4K couldn't possibly happen next year, again, I'm concerned about transparency and due diligence and having everybody brought to the table and having that discussion. Thank you.